24, 30, 60, 120, 240, 4K, 1080. These are all talked about endlessly on this platform. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down frame rates and which situation each works best in. Over the past 3 years of client work, whether it be in the form of weddings or YouTube projects or even marketing certain products to certain people, frame rates and lighting are among the most important things to understand before you get to a shoot. It's really less about the camera and the lens that you have, it's more about how you use the fundamentals of film and understand basic composition. So if you're just starting this film thing off, I'm super hyped for you, let's get it. Or if you're very experienced and just want to watch it, thank you. So yeah, let's get into it. So any talking head videos like this, whether it be for YouTube or like documentaries, I recommend going 24 or 30 frames per second, mainly because if you go 60 frames per second, the audio, which is my mouth moving, doesn't match up with the picture showing you. You physically can't sync audio at 60 frames per second. It's gonna look super unnatural. Your client's gonna know, and they're probably never gonna hire you again. So definitely 24 or 30 frames per second. But you might notice something. Many of you guys out there are probably like, why does he keep saying 24? It's really 23.97. Yes, you are 100% right, but I don't feel like saying 23.97 or 29.97 every time I say something. I'd rather just say 24 or 30. Real quick, I'll tell you why. This number right here is what it should be. In America, we have to blame the broadcast companies for this number down here, which really means when TV first started, they had to account for technical difficulties. So they had to bring it down by 0.01, which basically brings 24 down to 23.97. And we pretty much stuck with it ever since. So yeah, that's why we have those weird digits. And if you're in another country right now, America, we have the NTSC system, which is basically 23.96 or 97 and 29.97. Other countries have 25 and 30, and that's known as the PAL system. Those countries have it right here. Most movies are shot at 24 frames per second, and that's because of this right here. No, I'm not John Cena. You can see me. I brush your mouth like Colgate. Corny joke one, probably. Motion blur is why they shoot at 24 frames per second. Right now, we'll do a test, and I'll show you what it looks like when I film at less than 24 frames per second. So I'll go like this. I'll keep playing it. And as you can see, it becomes more and more choppy the lower we go than 24 frames per second. Now, I recommend that you're shooting higher frame rates when you want to slow it down in post. This is for actions like jogging, running, shooting, anything that's like really sports related or something that you just might want to slow down in post just for the hell of it. Except for high elevation drone shots. And this is because when you're at a high elevation, everything appears to be slow motion. Unless you are really traveling close to the ground with a drone, I recommend just shooting at 24 frames per second to get that natural motion blur, and it automatically looks like slow motion anyways. News, sportcasting, really anything that's shown on TV, reality TV, stuff like that, you know, Survivor, your other episodes of certain shows are all captured at 30 frames per second for the most part. I just said Survivor because I love Survivor. Comment below if you like Survivor. This is because they want that crispier motion and they want to see more attention to detail with each and every shot. Now, I always shoot at 24 frames per second or 23.97, but you should make sure that you're editing that 24 frames per second film on a 24 frames per second timeline. You don't want to mess that up. So step one, you shoot it in 24 frames per second. Step two, you edit it in 24 frames per second. And then step three, you export it in 24 frames per second. Now, it'll look super unnatural if you have a 24 frames per second clip inside a 30 frames per second timeline, and then you export it at 30 frames per second. It'll look super choppy and weird. I hope this video helped you out. I'm trying to put together a course maybe in the near future. Of course, filming these takes, of course, I said course twice. In the future, I'm thinking about putting together a course to teach a one-man band filmmaking, mainly because not everybody has a huge support system or 3 people every time they want to work on a project. They're only out there by themselves. My socials, like my Instagram and TikTok, they're all in the description below. If you guys still read those, do people still read descriptions? I'll catch you guys in the next one. It's your boy Kip Jackson.